Alright. So a friend of mine recently encouraged me maybe to give streaming a try again. I've historically given it a shot, then walked away from it because I felt like it detracted from my enjoyment of games. But I'm gonna give it a shot again. We're gonna see what happens. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I'm gonna use this game I just got that I'm very interested in playing called The Roottrees Are Dead. And yeah, I was going through the settings already, adjusting the audio, and the first thing I noticed was this setting here called Show Evidence Intuition. It says disabling this increases the difficulty of the game because by default it displays a number on the evidence that shows if there's more leads to track down. I think I'm tempted to start off with this off. I don't think I want that. Graphic settings are pretty default. Audio, the music is exceptionally loud in this game, so I've got it down to, what was that, 10%. Also just did the main volume down a bit. Might need to adjust these as we go through, but I think for now it's probably alright. Let's put the sound effects volume down a little bit as well. I'm going to go with the monitor defects. That might cause some problems with the YouTube algorithm, but right now I've got 0 viewers, so who cares? Other than that, I'm just going to leave the rest of it pretty much default. But I am going to turn this off for now. I think this will make it more fun if you got to figure things out purely for yourself. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and read this article. I'm sure if I hit a new game, it'll probably give it to me, or maybe even read it to me, which will suck if that happens, but oh well. I don't want to miss the information. So we're in Butler, Pennsylvania. The newspaper has come out on Sunday, December of 1998. And looks like this family has died in a plane crash. So the plane crashed last night, so this would have been, I guess, Saturday? Yeah, late edition on Sunday, so this would have been Saturday. The plane crashed last night near Pittsburgh. The only passengers were Carl Roottree, his wife Brenda, and their 3 daughters, known as the Roottrees sisters. Carl was the president of the Roottrees Candy Company, and it's not clear who will succeed him. So far, local police are not sure what caused the crash. So here's the crash site. They're calling it one of the most deadly plane crashes in Pennsylvania's history. All passengers and crew perished. Pittsburgh is generally known for pleasant flying conditions, and the weather was not atypical for this time of year. We do not know much at this time, but our sources tell us that the local authorities do not suspect terrorism. It's a plane of 5 people. Why would it be a terrorist attack? The crash did not cause any local property damage, and unfortunately nobody outside the plane was hurt. So it looks like it maybe landed in a field or nearby. Funeral plans have been announced, but have not been announced. But you can be sure that the Butler County Times will cover it to the best of our abilities. A spokesperson for the company has asked that people respect the family's something. So, you know, pretty standard stuff. They seem like, they're probably in, I mean, I don't want to say in front of the camera a lot, but this is a backdrop with, you know, scaffolding and, like, good lights, and I think this is a light diffuser. They seem, you know, well kept. They're, fashionably dressed, all that, so, anyway, let's get going, figure out what's going on. Roottrees Mania. This mystery will unlock once you finish The Roottrees Are Dead. Interesting. Okay, so let's go solve a mystery.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottree and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters. best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were. I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Alright, so we got a tutorial here. These ones are in birth order. Okay. Okay, so one of them is married. The oldest one is married. And there's the middle and youngest. What's this? Okay, so I can click on evidence internet. Okay. The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees sisters' Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottrees is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." This list was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. We've got, okay, it's last name sorted. Women and men. A lot of Roottrees. Alright, so we've got Eloise, who we don't know her last name, and then everybody else we do have the name for. Candy Roottree for Candy Company. Alright. So we've got a list of names. Now what I'm curious, I'm at this evidence screen here, which I think I got to by clicking this. If I was over here and clicked this, would it do the same thing? Yeah, okay. So this just links over to this tab. Two ways to get to the same place. I can click this as well. Show photo items, show text items, okay. And then I'm guessing if I click internet, it'll take me to this tab. Let's see. Yep. Alright, let's look at the house. Is this my house? I cannot can I move? Don't think I can move. I can click around. Oh, okay. Hi. Okay, so we just have evidence. I don't know what I would call this. Does that have a name? Family tree, I guess. The detective board. And then the internet. Are you still at my door? No, you just walked away. Can't interact with anything over here. Okay, so we've got the Montjoys here. I don't know if any of this will be relevant. I'm going to assume not, but just kind of explaining how family trees work, I'm assuming. Riot Girl. Anything else I can interact with? Not really. Alright, let's go to the internet. Stop. Welcome to the Information Superhighway. Thanks for purchasing a new Cashew PC. 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high-resolution images. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included laser printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. If you want to revisit a search result, be sure to use the history feature. Happy surfing, and remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Okay. Is there a pun? What nut pun are they playing off of to make that? And they said Sunday late edition. It's not even late. It's still December 6th, and I guess I don't know what... Oh. Okay. Interesting, the icons rearrange themselves. No documents printing, no notifications. Can't click on it. Alright. Alright. Netscape Explorer. Alright, so... let's just... a lot of obituaries. You can come across an unofficial Roottrees fan site seemingly curated by a teenager. Neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. Is this like a pre-AI? What the hell is this? Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS, but Riley is the smart one. Rose is the middle child, like me. Alright, so we've got the birth order, assuming that's right. You might think they're rich just because they are models, but their dad is also the president of a candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand, Root. I eat Root Tree candy all the time, my favorite Maple Crisps, and try to dress in plaid Root. Clothes like Riley does in most of the poster. Okay, the brand mark itself has a period in it. That could cause some confusion. I eat Root Tree candy all the time and try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it's relevant. Alright, so Riley does plaid and Rose has the nose pierced. I think we can probably just go ahead and solve this with no issues. Ah. How do I? Do I have to... oh, I have to okay. I have to specifically click their faces. Alright. Oh man, I was hoping I'd see the full picture. I guess it makes sense. So this is the one that's married. That's pretty easy. Yep. I've already forgotten all this, that's crap. Okay, so Riley does plaid. So she's the one with the jacket. And she's the young one. So... I think that's right. So you're Riley, Raina, and I thought your name also started with RH, but it's not an option. So she's married to TMS, and that has to be just Thomas Sheridan, right? There's no other TS initials. I'm gonna throw model on all of them. And then I gotta go remember her name. Rose. It does start with RH. Why does it not show up in this search? It must be a nickname. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Okay, so she definitely has her ears pierced, so that's easy. Why does her name not show up when I type in RH? So it must be a nickname, right? Okay. So that's what we have to assume at this point. Okay. I want to make sure I got this right. Riley's got plaid. Riley is the young one. Raina's the old one, married. So Raina. Yep, okay. I'm pretty sure that's oldest, married, and saw that she had the ring on her finger. Okay, so we gotta find some more information about Rose. Yeah, Root. The period is part of the name. It's a clothing company. Yeah, see here we go. The site says that this was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottrees. Okay, so there we go. That is now solved. Carly Roottrees. There we go. Done. Alright. Booyah. I can't seem to click through and do anything. Oh, okay, click on that. Okay.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired. The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives. Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries. Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
Okay, so after 6 more, she's gonna maybe bring us something from his office? Interesting. Oh, yeah. Me again.
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Alright, that's not the least bit suspect. Cool. Alright, so these are all the notable ones. I need 3 more. They come back at 9, but I need 3 more before it gets confirmation. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree, completely correct name, occupation, and portrait, they'll be locked in yet. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. So that's gonna be, I guess, like this. Yeah, that's maybe not. Okay, so we've got the Oberdin style confirm setup. So after the whole family tree has been filled in, it has 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure and have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Okay, that's cool. Oh, okay. That's a cool way to do that. Okay, so this has just got to be Carl Roottree then, right? That's, and then this is the wife, Brenda. I guess CEO is his job. Okay, that's, I think, the extent of everyone we know at this point. Wait, why is this 3 here? I thought I turned that off, that setting off. Yeah, that's off. That must be 3 new pieces of evidence? Yeah, okay. Okay, before I move forward, I want to check in on Brenda. Okay. Brenda White original. I like the meme here. He stumbled across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem very relevant to your search. That's a shout out to the whole dress debacle back in the day. But that also confirms that Brenda White, before she became Roottrie, was in fact called Brenda White. So that's right. Carl Roottrie is right. I'm pretty confident with CEO being his title. These are the people that are easy to find online. Notables. Interestingly, Brenda isn't on here, even though she was pretty easy to find. This is a list of notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it can be found easily via your search engine. Okay, so that's probably a good place to start. Any entry on the family tree that belongs to someone on this list will be marked with a star. That's over here. Notable Roottrees will be crossed out after they are verified and locked. So the sisters have already been locked. I gotta say, typing, it does not feel natural to do the double T. The double O is very easy, but I want to do like a Roottrie or Roottrie or something like that. Okay, what do we got here? 5 pieces of gum from Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. Okay. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. So strawberry, cool chocolate, bad blue raspberry, awesome apple, power plum. There's 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. Maybe that's why the kids still love them. What even is an elderberry anyway? Elderberries are very yummy. They make great liquor. Elderberry liqueur is a fantastic sweetener for alcohol, if y'all don't know. The Roottrie sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. I mean, okay, I'm glad that wrote that out, because the way that this was being presented made me think it was December 5th. It was the late edition on Sunday, and the newspaper said that last night, so I really thought that it was the 5th, but here we have it established. They died on December 6th, and we're getting this going. Their bodies aren't even cold yet, and we're doing the investigation. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door. See, that's kind of wrong, though, I think, because the computer, when she was here doing the little tutorial, it still said December 6th. I'm pretty confident. I could go back and record it, or rewatch it, but the computer said December 6, 1998, I think, when she was at the door. So, anyway. Does it say December 7th now? No, it still says December 6th. This is wrong. They're dying right this minute. They're in the plane, actively. Can I go to FlightAware? Oh. They might be in the air. We can call them and let them know. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door, so we're talking about the future, and said that the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources, including notable Roottrees, who they said would be the easiest family members to place. They would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more relatives. Okay. So that's where we sit. We've got... Okay, so... Inventor. I think this is the job title I'm supposed to get, is Inventor. So let's just go to this family tree real quick. Find whoever has 5 kids. Which is going to be up here. So that's Gwyneth and Elias. So Inventor, is that a job? Nope. I'm gonna go with CEO just for now. It's interesting that it gives me names for these 2 ahead of time, so it's like I already know that this is... I wish I could do copy-paste. So that's Elias, and this is... Gwyneth... A lot of Gwens. Holy cow. So anyway, that's gonna be, I think, the only place where there's 5 kids. So it's 2 kids, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. So this has to be that. All right. Still a lot of evidence to go there, or a lot of people to look through there. A lot of these folks to look through. Don't know how many we'll get to. There's these 3 miracles. Miracle Jr. is apparently notable. Let's get that from here. Oh, Gwyn Roottrees with 2 N's is different than Gwyn Roottrees. Maybe 1 N. In fact, I want to see that again. I know I clicked on this earlier. Whoops. I can't type. Okay. So there are 2 Gwyn Roottrees. The other Gwyns are not Roottrees. That might come up later. Alright, we ready to get going on anything? What's this? Oh, hello. Welcome to your notepad. On each page, other than this one, you can jot down important information such as names, family relationships, marital status, sibling count, or anything else you'd like to remember. Page titles can be renamed to make it easier to remember what you've written on each one. Highlight any text in your web browser or evidence for the quick option to add it to your notes. The entire contents of your notepad are saved even if you quit the game. Don't forget to check them when you return. Siblings, people that share the same parents. Cousins, people that share the same grandparents, but not the same parents. Second cousins, people that share the same great-grandparents, but not the same grandparents. Third cousins, okay. American school terms. Schools produce yearbooks, which are albums of staged photos of the children, typically with solid color or cloudy backgrounds. That is very true. I am American, so that should be pretty easy for me. Oh, got stuff here. What's this? Okay, I can't do anything with it. Alphabet Davis. Alphabet Davis. So the books by Alphabet Davis. Is that one of our people? Does not appear to be one of our people. Okay. Password. Okay, it's nice, just like an in-game volume control. That's kind of cool. All right. Wait, why did that print? How do I get to the printer? Oh, okay. This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottrees Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. Okay. So I'm just going to stick with some gender stereotypes here and assume that this is Elias and this is Gwyneth. So let's go put them in the family tree. Oh, it didn't even give me the option for it to be anybody else. That's wild. I didn't have a why won't it? I guess it's conforming to stereotypes. Which, you know, 1909, this is very common, but I figured the game would have at least demanded I figure that out. It's interesting how this doesn't present websites. It presents like summaries of websites. Because this is almost like AI analyzing what your search results are. But Elias Roottrees was the founder and first president of the Roottrees Candy Company. You find what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Roottrees Candy Company, the RCC. At the top there's a picture of him and his wife. Biography section with some additional info. credited for inventing 5 Pieces, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited only produced syrup. So he inherited the farm by marrying his wife. Okay. After 5 Pieces became wildly successful, he spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He is quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. There are a few more quotes from Elias from a book called Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there's a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Okay, there's a lot of... Okay, let's highlight. Okay. I don't know that any of this is too necessary. I'm just going to run on the assumption that this is not necessary. But let's look at this book, Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy. Actually, I don't think I'm going to, because I think I've got him solved for now. I need to get 3 more relatives. I need to look more into her. Wait, did I pick the wrong one? No, okay, Gwendolyn's definitely not going to be Gwyneth. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I remember down here, Brenda got her original name. And so I'm guessing she's going to get her original name. So she's probably... Yeah, okay. Okay, I see where we're going here. So... Family Man, Elias. Okay, did I get the book wrong? The Roottrees Legacy. Family Man. Can I copy this? Like, actually, like, Control-C, Control-V? Oh my god, I can't, thank god. Okay. Very poorly received book. Oh, wait, what? Madsen, dang it. That was close. Did I get it wrong again? I feel like I got it wrong again. No, I got it right that time. Madsen. Yep, okay. Alright, so I need to change this to Gwyneth Anderson. There we go. So that's that. I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting from this search. Yeah, like her only goal is to marry. I mean, not necessarily her ambition, but sign of the times. Before he took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly his idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. though the RCC expanded well beyond their original form, has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn of the century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Yep. Okay. So I think these guys are pretty locked in. I don't know what. Okay, once you verify, you get bonus photos. All right, so I'm pretty good with them. So now the question is, who else can I do? It's got to be Carl, right? I feel like that's the next easiest one. We're already partially there. Okay, he was president of the Roottrees company, or the RCC, and the clothing company Root. And the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy, so they weren't the only ones on the plane. The entire Roottrees family is in shock and requesting privacy this time. Like his great-grandfather before him, is that the right? So that'd be dad, grandpa, grandfather, okay. I'm surprised there wouldn't be a photo of him. We need to get that. It has no CEO and no stockholders, instead it's run by a president with input and votes from extended family. So we need to change him from CEO to first, second, third. He'll be probably the fourth. It's not necessarily a guarantee that it's just gone down like that, but there's no reason it couldn't have been like first, second, third, or yeah, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So, but in fact, it's almost guaranteed that he's the fifth because there wouldn't have been time for there to be a fourth yet, or we wouldn't have anyone on here that would be a fifth yet. So he has to be the last president, the most recent one, because this is the day he's died and there hasn't been a replacement. So we're gonna put him as fifth. Every president has been So this is kind of what I was saying. Is despite his death, he's listed as the current president. Like there wouldn't have been a fifth one yet. So it's a bit gamey to just assume that that I know. I only know he's the fifth because it's the last option the game gives me. But every president has been a direct descendant of those two. So they're dipped in a crispy, crackly candy coating. Root specializes in children's clothing. Alright. I really need a photo of him, though. So this is new. The period is part of the name as a clothing company. They make clothes for children from teenagers to toddlers. I read that backwards. From toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, you find countless retail sites that continue to advertise their clothes. You've spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on cataloged magazines and posters. Now you two can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina. Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since '84, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There's only one the webmaster considers a collector's item. Brenda Roottrees. Okay, I found this one earlier. The Roottrees sisters' mother. Root's head designer appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. I don't know if that becomes relevant again. I can hold on to it. Let's go check this out. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Williams, Family Man, the Roottrees Legacy. Alrighty. Well, it's really the only book I'm aware of at this point. I don't know of any periodicals, so we're gonna go back to this. Damn, how do I get a photo of, Carl? Oh, I get it, these are maple leaves now. I definitely thought this was gum at first, and I was kind of weirdly put off by the idea of chocolate gum, but I think it's because I saw 5 pieces, associated it with 5 gum, and moved on, but... alright. Do we leave Carl behind to go hunt down somebody else? Because I can't find his picture at the moment. I don't know what else to run off of immediately. See, because this just gave me a photo. This gave me the photo. I guess didn't get one of them gave me a photo. Both would have given me the same photo. Okay. So, what other stuff related to Carl could I do to find a photo? I guess this Watchman of the Year. That's really the. Yep. Oh, no, business. Okay, that's gonna probably give it to me, though. Company CEOs in the economy. Every year they offer an award to a prominent businessman called the Watchman of the Year. 2 Roottrees have won it. Do not host any online archives on any site you can find. So, Business Watch. Okay, thank you. Watchman. Oh. Of the year. Okay, so every 10 years they publish the full list again. So does that... Oh, okay. Good old Carl. Look at him rocking the fucking quint tones. Dark green, light green, pink, red, and orange. That's a hell of a vibe, man. Watchman of the Year issue, December 1987. Magazine 4 and About. Whoever grabs life by the roots. Our ongoing coverage of Who's... I think it's supposed to say Who's Who in the corporate world. Our ongoing coverage of Who's in the corporate world, I guess that's also possible. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this done. I'm curious what that means you've locked the font. Okay, so I can't edit it anymore? Yeah, okay. Okay. Alright, cool. So there's 3 more down. Alright, so solve 3 more, and then I guess so I'm good for a minute. So I think if I'm going off of this evidence tab, let me read this. Carl was voted Watchman of the Year in '87, and a photo of him appears on the cover. It's for and about corporate leaders, that's the word hidden behind his head. Has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Yeah, didn't. Missed a word down here. Carl was chosen not for his work at Roottrees Candy, but rather a clothing company. There's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Can I put that on her job? I don't think she has a job title. No. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for creative outlet, she spent any free time at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim Roottrees. Okay, so Jim Roottrees will be one of these. Is Jim Roottrees notable? A notable singer? If I'd read one word further. Alright, is he on this notable list? He is, Jim Roottrees. Okay, so that means this is Jim Roottrees, because... Right, so this is... Yeah, that's how that works. That's cousins. So yeah, these are Carl's cousins. He doesn't have any siblings, it looks like. Or if they do, they're just not listed here. Which would be kind of weird. Family trees use surnames from birth, even if the person changed... Wait, what? Family trees use surnames from birth, even if the person changed their last name after marriage. Okay, so that's saying Brenda White, so yeah, okay. Always uses a person's most recent occupation. Okay, cool. I was trying to see if this was a clue that at some point they gave birth, and then there's like, let's say Brenda White let's say she gave birth before they were married, and one of these girls had the last name White, that it'll track with that, but that doesn't make any sense. What it's saying is that even though she's married and changed her last name, it's still her birth name is gonna go on here. Anyway, to this point, these are Carl's cousins, these three right here, and this is it feels like metagaming, but I'm using the clues available to me. This is the only one who's notable, so this is going to be Jim Roottrees. Or not, because Jim doesn't have a name. James Roottrees, maybe? Yeah. And he is a musician or singer or something. Musician? I'm going to go with probably that. Yep. Alright, so back to the evidence. A notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. Word spread. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were being copied by other brands, seeing the demand Carl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become the president of Roottrees at this time, spearheaded Root. Okay, so Ernie Jr. is going to be... I think this is where it gets complicated for me, and I'm very bad with family history. Is it always the same level, or does it move up one? I think it stays the same level, and if you move up one, I think this would be like a first cousin once removed, I think. And this is man, I don't know. This is where I really do lose it. I know the notebook here kind of gives you a hint about this. It's not doing any of the once removed, twice removed stuff. My family is very nuclear. That's not even right. It's just very small. I've got my direct family. I've got some marrying in, marrying out, divorce, stuff like that. But I don't have a very extensive cousin relationship. I've got a few that I know, but that's about it. So my dog is going crazy in the background. One second. Sorry, I had to get my dog to quiet down. Alright, So second cousins are people that share the same grandparents. Okay, so this is... Yeah, so these two share the same grandparent, but not the same parent. Second cousins share the same great-grandparents, which for him, his great-grandparents are here. So it's anybody who's on this line with him, I'm pretty sure, but not the same grandparents. So, okay, yeah, so if you share great-grandparents, you have to be on the same line. Okay, so that's how that works out. So, I wish I could make like a note like that, but Ernie Jr. is one of these 6 or one of these 4. But Ernie Jr. is on this line, but not these 4. Wonder if there's a way to do that. I guess that's what notebooks are for. Add page. Ernie Jr. I think he said 3rd president. I'll go check that before I confirm it. 3rd president of RCC is on the same row/level as Carl, but not does not share grandparent. Alright, now I need to confirm real quick that he was the 3rd. No, it doesn't say. Can I edit this? Edit note. One of the presidents of RCC. Alright, and so because I read somewhere that only blood relatives have ever been president of Roottrees, I know Ernie is. Other blood relatives who have a say in the company's finances refuse to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment. Now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. Per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first one did. Raina became their catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were then recruited to show off the baby clothes. Okay. A lot of info there. Alright. But I think this is going to send me down the path of Jim Roottrees now. So let's go look for Mr. Jimothy. As seen in MMM, only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet. Peter, oh my god, I cannot see that. Peter, is it in here maybe? Please give me the name Peter somewhere over here. Yeah, Peter Janowitz. Okay. I was trying to just see it there, and it's a little bit too far. Oh, can I listen to the audio? Oh, nice. I'm gonna listen to or read all this and then go to it. Rolling on down to the city with Jim and Diamond. So let's just go put his photo first. I'm assuming that this is Diamond. It's a bit of a stretch to assume that he's married to the person he's doing a duet with, but I'm just gonna roll with it for now. Rolling on down to the city was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in '79. According to the liner notes, it satirizes how a part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Hey, that's not too relevant at all today. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Instead, most of its play came from roller discos. Because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you've never heard of it. This image is from an auction for a sealed copy. It has a sticker that says, "Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet." Credited to Peter Janowitz from MMM. Music and lyrics by Jim Roottrees, vocals by Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRue. He's on the notable list. Cool. Lyrics of the song contain no clues. That's kind of nice. Alright, let's just... I'm not going to try to read it, but... I'm not going to try to read it out loud, but...
We're rolling, rolling, rolling on down to the sea.
I'm assuming this isn't copyrighted.
Saturday night and you're quite a sight. The world might be burning, but I'm feeling right. Making ends meet, so parents and you. We can't afford gas, so we skate in the streets. Guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling, rolling, rolling on down to the sea.
Not a bad tune. I mean, I really struggle to see how this has anything to do with economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East until like this little tiny bit.
On wheels we glide with you by my side. Inflation is rising and so is our pride. Big car and fake, make love not
Okay, there we go.
They fight overseas, but we'd rather skate. Guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling.
Oh, this is a line. But parties sell better than protests.
Politicians at large are hopeless. The bankers in charge are all clowns. The parties sell better than protests. So signs up while we boogie down, 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 down. Guys all rush to say that I'm
Alrighty. Although Jim writes the majority of songs, plays the guitar and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they were known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. He has become a bit of a recluse and hasn't made a public appearance since '96. Okay. Well, let's look at Diamond LaRue first. Oh yeah, it does say his wife. God, okay, I missed that. Okay, what is the Diamond's Dazzlers thing? Diamond's Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. Forum post called "Cool Things You Got in the Mail" on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to the Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it is no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent post about whether that's cool or pathetic. That's absolutely cool. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from '96 included pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. I wish that once you clicked on this portion of the screen to the right, that this thing would go away. Unless you could like right click on it to lock it in place or something, but I don't like that. Alright. You found a picture of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond to their fan club in '96. Description said it included a picture of son Wolf listening to his parents and his music. Alright, so I don't know if it's necessarily Wolf Roottrees. Can child be a student? I don't think I have any real clues about how young Wolf is, but his daughter's band, the Floozies. Wolf I don't know why I struggled to write that out so much. Alright, got a photo it sounded like. Oh, nope, it's up here. Conquistador. Alright, the guitar and vocals are Candy. There's Candy Roottrees, maybe? Bass is Nikki Roottrees, and drums is Nina. I say Nikki Roottrees, I don't know about that. CD from a band called the Floozies that is only available at their live shows. Conquistador. Oh, I'm. Alright. So is there a Nikki Roottrees? There's not. And I think that means there's also not a Nina Roottrees. Okay, so I think Candy Roottrees is going to be his daughter. I saw her way earlier and made me laugh because Candy's such a big thing to them. And so I'm going to call her a musician as well. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, so here's part of the problem. I've evidently gotten something wrong because I've filled out the three of them. This trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. Reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said that although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There's no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Interestingly, I'm sure that this can't really be an accident, but floozy, not spelled like this, at least I don't think so. It's not a word I see often, but floozy is kind of an old word for... It's kind of a derogative term for a girl for being kind of loose. I think nowadays you just say kind of slutty, but in the whole day I guess the word was floozy. Which kind of makes sense, you know, all-female punk band, they're trying to kind of take some... What's the word I'm looking for? Trying to take some autonomy back, Beef Baby. It's funny that conceptually that they'd be really against their identities when it's, you know, right here. So this is the person doing guitar and vocals. So this is Candy. It's possible that it could have been Nikki or Nina, but this is a guitar, not a bass. You can see it's got 6 strings. Basses only have 4, and there's the very obvious microphone to do leads. So the person in this picture is Candy, and presumably that's Candy Roottrees. There is no Nikki or Nina in our list. Could be Nicole's. I mean, again, it's just... I think that has to be Candy because... whatever. So, we've got Wolf. His job could very well be wrong. I think that's the most likely thing here is that he's not a student. He's not a baby. Okay. The other thing is, and it's kind of relevant to this thing over here, is their most recent occupation. So Candy Roottrees might be doing something else besides being a musician now. And this was 2 years ago, and so maybe he's not a student anymore. Maybe he's graduated and is doing, or maybe he's a student in college now. Okay. I don't really like the brute force things. He does look older. I mean, he's not... I think he looks like early high school in age, but who knows. I wonder if this is maybe part of the problem. I doubt it. Does this apply, this birth order, does it apply to just these 3 sisters, or does it apply to everybody? I'm going to assume it applies to everybody, although, can I? No, see, like, it won't let me... It won't let me put it in any other order. It has to be this one. So, if this is how it works, so this is oldest to youngest, then Wolf is older than Candy. Which means he's not probably a student anymore. She's a full-time musician, I guess. I doubt I can find anything about Candy Roottrees, right? Yeah. Alright. Let's just go. I'm gonna use this. All-female punk band. I don't think I'm gonna get anything from Conquistador. Conquistador. Nope. Nothing new. Time is going so slow. I feel like it was 7:42 earlier. Maybe this is real, kind of tracking real time. I'm not sure. Alright, let me go back to this MMM thing. Is that a something music magazine? Now if I come in here, MMM. Yeah, okay. Modern Music Monthly. New periodical added. Where do I see it at? Oh no, God, not all hands. Currently playing music. I guess I just... I don't know. It said new periodical added. I just don't know where it got added to, I guess. A review and interview from 1979 titled A Reluctant Hitmaker. Jim goes into his first band. Until a few years ago, Diamond and I were in C and J plus J and D. So that's Jim's and Diamond. With my cousin and his ex. So, okay, so we're talking his cousin and his ex. Okay, so this is... because he doesn't have an ex based on this. So, need to find... so, I'm just going to go with musician. This is probably wrong because he probably updated it. It talked about a defunct band. But that's going to give me... Clark, okay. I just need to keep reading. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpa insisted he spend time with my dad and me. Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. I don't know which one's gonna be which. I guess I have to read a little bit further. When Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her younger sister, everything exploded. So Clark and Jane plus Jim and Diamond. So Diamond and Jane are sisters, and I mean, does Diamond have a third sister? Because why would it be weird if I guess what I'm getting at here is Clark and Jane appear to be together based on this C and J, and so if Clark and Jane are together, and Diamond walks in on them presumably having sex. I mean, it'd be a little bit weird seeing your sister do, but like, why would it explode and destroy the band? Unless there's another sister, another LaRue, which would be hard. Actually, I think that we use default names here, don't we? Yeah, there is. There's Kim LaRue. Okay. So I'm gonna put Jane LaRue here. This is Clark Rafferty, I suppose. Okay, so that means, I think that means this must be a daughter. Because, yeah, okay. So, if this is Roottrees, it's going to send the name Roottrees down. So everyone on this line is going to have the last name Roottrees. And then boy, girl, whatever, because we are always given your birth name. And then on one step, actually, I think that means that this is forced to be a girl, right? No. Okay, my initial thought was right. So this has to be a male spouse, and this has to be a female spouse. So and there's notables that I can just kind of shortcut on. So I'm just gonna, it's either Gwen or Lauren, I'm assuming. Okay, I can, oh nice, I can put unknown female. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I kind of like that. Because she's going to have, everyone on here is going to have the Roottrees name. If this is a female, then the birth name here doesn't necessarily have to be Roottrees. That's the problem, is one of these two has to be a female. I guess that might be as close as I can get. See, now I know that I'm putting things down that I don't have confirmed. One of these two has to be a female. Because, although these two have the Roottrees last name, which means their parents had to have Roottrees last name, so it's actually, I think we're back to unknown male here. Because this name passed down at least to here, but it didn't pass down to here. So the split happened between there, which means it has to have happened on this line. Which means this is an unknown male, this is an unknown male. And we don't know enough over here. Okay. Pretty sure that that is accurate. We don't know the dad. Can we assume it's a Rafferty? There's Chris and Jacob. It's an optional one. It's not going to get mom's name, but mom is going to be a Roottrees. Because this is a Roottrees. So there's some female Roottrees somewhere along the line. And then you, I'm just, this is being a little bit spicy. Did you, I think Jane has to be, oof, I don't know. Did he leave Jane to get with his sister and then have two kids with the sister? That would be diabolical. Anyway, well, I think I'm getting a little bit too far off base now. Let's stick with this. Man, I really want to commit at some point to a name here, though. Because they had two names, I'm going to, with this being Kim LaRue and this being Jane LaRue. I'm glad that that just moved that already. I'm just going to go unknown female. I think these are going to be the kids. LaRue Rafferty and LaRue Rafferty. Those might be in different orders because, again, I'm assuming this applies to the whole thing. I really wish it maybe would have pulled out and applied to the whole board, not just, it kind of looks like it applies to just them, but okay, so I think we've got the LaRues here. I don't know for sure that the order is right there, but anyway, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with her younger sister, so he was with Jane and then was with Kim, and that happened. Okay. The only thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then we never agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes, something he'd hum a week later. I've been told Roland is like that, but that wasn't my goal. When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction musically, and that made him laugh. But I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of this because he'd agree. For most of the decade he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. He started Raffer tunes, and he's a much better jingle writer than a songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. So this is being written, this is being talked about by Jim. My father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls all over. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player, but I was never interested. I just went straight for the music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. So he's talking about my father. So his father is in advertising? Alright. What I want to know is if I could, like, clear this out, like, if I just... Okay. Clark was in a department store getting a family portrait with his wife and children, and while his wife was trying to get Katrina to calm down for the picture, he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. Okay, so we got a good old Clark here. Sure. So his youngest was Katrina, and so assuming this is still true, the oldest to youngest applies everywhere. Then this is Katrina, and that's right. So that's going to be Katrina, and that's going to be Jessica. And I'm basing that purely on height. She looks more developed than she does. Longer hair, you know, like that. Kim LaRue, can that be you? I'm just going to put them down both as K through 12 students. That feels really appropriate. Yep. Okay. And now we get a little bit more. Heck yeah. Haha. Okay. Got a whole bunch of things there at once.
You're on a roll. I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes. But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion. I also found some important-looking papers.
Okay, that was a lot of new evidence. I was trying to keep track of that and read this, and I kind of missed both. I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion. I also found some important-looking papers.
You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Alright, I have every intent to keep going right now. Oh, nice, it locks like that. So what, with Carl, I'm missing is, or Clark, okay, yeah. So I don't, the reason I think that didn't click through is because it's the most recent thing. That makes a lot of sense. I talked about the band having failed, but I think he went to advertising after that, because that's what this last article said. Clark was in a department store getting a photo when he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. So I think he goes into advertising with his dad, because yeah, he starts doing the jingle. I don't know. That's kind of a crossover. I would typically say that's more musician than advertising, doing jingles for companies. But you know, let's see. He started Raffertunes, and he's a much better jingle writer than songwriter. And then I went to Raffertunes. Okay, so yeah, it calls it an advertising firm. That's fair. I didn't even read this. As soon as I unlocked this, I went to the photos, so that's why I kind of lost track here. A website about Raffertunes, his advertising firm. On it, there's an about page, and you can find a picture labeled "The inspiration for the famous Super Bowl ad campaign." Below that is more detail. It's kind of a weird comma. Clark was in a department store. Okay, this is the exact photo. Okay. Okay, so he's in advertising now. We've locked down the order of spouses. This was just... I don't like that I got this, because... I mean, there was logic to it. I had it here initially. There was logic. The logic... see, I'm metagaming. It's because I have a definitive list of names. I don't know these names at all. I never had heard of, you know, the LaRue sisters, or the Rafferty or LaRue sisters. I just saw them in a list, saw that they were, you know, obviously going to be related to Mr. Rafferty here. Saw that they were together, assumed that that was the way that went. Is there another LaRue Rafferty? I don't think she's having this kid with him. Is she? I actually can't tell how that's happening. Is there another LaRue? There is not. Is there another Rafferty? There is. Chris and Jacob. So one of these is gonna be his son, and one of them is gonna be his dad. And he had an ex he split up with. Alright, I'm gonna keep going, having a great time with this. But at the moment I need to go change over the crock pot, hit the restroom real quick, and then grab a quick snack, so I'll be right back. Alright. I am, back. Successful bathroom break. Grabbed a little snack. I gotta say, if you like fig bars at all, the Nature's Bakery fig bars are just fantastic. They're much more substantial than most fig bars I've had in the past. They're healthy. The number one ingredient is whole wheat grains. They're just pretty nice. I recommend them. Hey, Nature's Baker, if you want to do a sponsorship of somebody with absolutely no followers, I'm your man. Okay, so we've got new clues. We got the whole setup. So I think I already have this full one locked down. And if I'm getting it correct, somebody like this doesn't count to the 3. It's like I could get 9. Solving her doesn't count towards that. But what else I've also learned is so I think I've updated him. Like, this is just right. I'm not concerned about this. I had this as musician because I solved these before I solved that one. But I should be able to solve these all functionally instantly. Because 3 photos, 3 names, 3 jobs. I really don't know what he does. That's my biggest thing. I'm gonna take this off and just say unknown. I was basing that off of his age, but if he's older than she is and she's a musician, then the other thing is that the Christmas card made a point of emphasizing that this photo was 2 years old. So he's even older now and could have definitely moved on. I'm just guessing if he's a student in college. I don't even like that. I don't want to do it. Which I'm now proven that was wrong. But, well, assuming that these are right, which I'm pretty confident in these. Again, the only other thing is maybe she's not a musician anymore. But okay. It's funny though that you use the original name no matter what, but then always the most recent occupation. So, all right, you can open this envelope after the whole tree has been filled in. 2 names must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Yeah, I guess what I'm curious about is it related to this person? I don't know. We'll try to figure that out later. Rafferty LaRue's. Alright, we got a whole bunch of new things. Where are we on this? We're only halfway through the notable list. So, we still have a good way to go there. Alright. Let me take a sip of a drink and then another bite of this fig bar, so I'm going to mute myself real quick. Alright. So Stephanie Jones for City Council. She grew up in an unconventional family. Seems like she's maybe 22 years old, with a baby of her own due around Christmas. Her message is love is our future. Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie. So this is the husband. So the people who have any input in the candy company are always family. His initials don't indicate that, but this has to be the husband here. If you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflicts spread to the next generation. CM. So do we have a? I'm just gonna click a random name. CM. Caroline Morden. Okay. Not a great CM list, because I don't think Caroline Morden is a very dude name. I'm gonna just put this one on the back burner for now. Don't know where to go with it just yet. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damaged picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Right on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. So that's Gwen, there's the boys. Couldn't make the reunion. This photo is a note attached from your employer. Oh, this is, okay, the person at the door. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Wait, okay. So was one of these a water damaged photo? Yeah, okay, this one is the free spirits, which is being referenced here. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out. Let's start here then. Yeah, okay, you can see the water damage. This photo is a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, so there should have been one in the 20s, or the 90s. And Carl's the teenager in the middle. This one? Yeah, that looks like it. Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next president, Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., so he's going to be in here too. Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Rootree. I think that's Jim right there. Clark. Maybe him, Carl, and Eli M. Who's the little girl? Oh, Eli. Okay, here's Eli. Just have that one locked down. I don't want to add a whole bunch of other faces to the list if I can't do anything with it yet. Okay, so when she pulled this one out, this one fell out. Okay. Couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris. So Gwen, so the timing of this one is the same. So here Carl's a teenager, and Gwen most certainly isn't. So Gwen is going to be on this level. She's an unknown female, so it could be here, and she's got two boys. It could be here. She could be anywhere on this side, because all of these people have two kids, two kids, two kids. Film school. That's a cool ass shirt. Okay. A lot of photos. Oh, story so far is updated. Let's check the computer now. It's still December 6th. We've advanced 30 minutes. After some time, they returned with new resources, a photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 70s, as well as some papers and mail from his office. Okay, not a whole lot of advancement. Shiva candle. Sorry, I paused to take another bite. 1 second. Alright, so there's a lot going on here. So this is Ernie's... I'm very tempted to say this is Ernie Jr., even though she's not listing that out. Because we know here that Carl has taken over as president from Ernie. So it's wild that they would, if he was the former president, that they'd be like struggling with bills, but it's impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. So they helped a lot. They have a Shiva candle, and it says, I know it's not expected for those outside the faith to light the candle, but I don't know what faith that relates to. So we've had the first big expansion of information. So this is in '96. When did... full, like, what's that, 17 years after this? It's just a bit of a question as far as they were already married at this point, so it's very plausible that they had kids already, and he's the oldest. And so in '98, like, I knew something felt wrong there, I just wasn't sure what it was. And then nothing's gonna come up with this either, yep, okay. I've already gone down this path. Other albums are Cherry Tree. Let's see if anything comes up there. Hey! An album by Jim and Diamond, released in '95, 3 years ago. The CD was apparently so hard to find in stores that some fans have resorted to selling cassette bootlegs. There's a music commerce website that claims to sell the album, but it's sold at the moment. You do find a short sample of one of the songs called Sun. There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. That someday she'd depart, and parted never be alone, in my heart I'll the son of.
There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone, from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart in part, I'd never be alone. In my heart I'll always be the son of.
Alright, so... That's gonna be about his mom, right? So his mom was a teacher? Maybe? I don't know. I think I'm getting a little bit off base there. Sound of laughter. Can't even find a picture of the cover. It doesn't appear to have been very successful, and reviews seem middling even from fans. Some basic liner notes exist on a fan page and states the lyrics and guitar are Jim and the vocals are Diamond. completely useless. I don't know what to take away from this just yet. It sounds like he's talking about his mom, almost as a teacher. But I don't have to know his mom's job, unless... I definitely know his dad's job is in advertising. There was a whole bit about it. Alright. So, we've expanded a lot here. Whew. I think the best thing to do for now, to continue filling things in, is to stick with the notables. And so, Clark here, his dad, does his dad have to be a Rafferty? Or no, his mom can be a Roottrees. His dad is a Rafferty, we knew that. So there's a notable female that we need to get to. So, and that's going to be either Gwen or Lauren. I'm so tempted to go either direction. Let's go Gwen because we've already seen something about her. You find some information on a website about old films. Remember that Gwen's son was wearing a jacket that said film school. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your own search, or from your search engine. She is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Well, there's that. There you go. Alright. Hello, Gwen. Going with actor. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. Not Like Us, baby. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwen from behind the scenes on one of her movies. You've added to your evidence. Is she cute? This photo is a widely circulated photo of Gwen. You've seen it on multiple websites about old films. She's in the notable chart. Okay. I mean, I feel like that matches up with this. Right? I don't think she's an actress anymore. I think she's left being an actress, so I think that that's done. She was the granddaughter of Elias Roottrees. Is that the right length? Yep. That'd be daughter, granddaughter. Cool. She shouldn't have been named Roottree. Ooh. But her father took her mother's famous name. Okay. So then this is an unknown female, and this is an... Can I write down Roottree? Like... Okay, so... So she's not blood related. I guess she is still. Never mind. Alright. Gwen let's type in proper grammar. Gwen Roottrees' mom was a descendant. Was there we go. Oh man, I put a comma. Okay, so there's that. So that is kind of funny because it went out of its way to I used that logic here. So I think I don't now know for a fact that this is how this works, but I'm pretty sure this is Lauren Rootree now. Okay, well, good old Gwen Rootree. All right, can I just find something about her divorce? Come across some mentions of a marriage to Wild Bill Williams. They divorced before the birth of her second child. Okay. So these would be Williams then? Nope. Okay. Wild Bill Williams, let's go. Oh, well, it's because if you spell it wrong, that's... Wild Bill was the leading man of some non-notable movies in the 50s. He appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave, which has yet to be released for home audiences. It's only taken, 48 years. He was known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party that she was already aware of his reputation. He grew up in Paris, France. Williams is a very common French last name. Alright, let's look up Fortune Favors the Grave. Oh, okay, well that's what we get. So what the hell was his real name? We don't have Williams as his last name. There's no Williams. Is there something? I mean, LaRue is French as hell, but... So, I mean, that's just clearly not his... Does not appear to be his real name. Make sure I spelled it right. I've got to be able to take this somewhere, right? Does the... I'm trying to figure out if the quotes mattered, and they don't appear to. Alright. 1953 film in which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client. Hilarity ensues. Starring Gwyn Roottrees, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. The title is a play on words, and as it can be read that the two women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. Ah. Guys like us. Or guys like us. So we know that Wild Bill was an actor himself in the same era. And so the question is, because there's, what's his name, Leslie Nielsen, I think, Harrison Lane, those are both possible male names. And I'm just curious if okay, Harrison Lane is not here. Leslie, what was the last name? Florence. That's not here either. So, which makes sense. The story was supposedly about two secretaries, but alright, and then what was the other one? Christmas Mission? Is on our page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I, released in '55 that received poor reviews and lost the studio money. Gwyn Roottrees had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. You find no additional relevant info. The movie is marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the events happening has ever been found. Alright, well, let's see. And I searched for Fortune Favors the Grave, but I'm just gonna type in Paris, France and see. This is a good thing though. Search for only one person or concept at a time. So like typing in Wild Bill and Gwyn is not gonna really work. Tabloid makes me think maybe periodical. I still don't have a single other book that I need to look up. Yeah, I didn't think it would be that easy, but From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 Pieces are the iconic candy sold by the RCC. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well. They're small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that since the late 20s have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and combination have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 Pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Alright, well, I was just talking about how I needed a new book. Charles Lee. Found this advertisement in The Sweet History. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children. The order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavor, miracle berry. Alright. So this has to be miracle root tree. And this has to be Miracle Root Tree Jr. because of the notable. And then you have to be Miracle Root Tree the third. Are these initials? Is there, it's like M. So this will be an M root tree girl, Margalite root tree. Yep, and then this will be CE root tree, I think. Yep, there it is, Clancy. Yep, okay. E and G. Okay. Could be either any of these. And then, what was the first one? G. Yeah, Gwendolyn root tree. Okay. I'm pretty confident in that. I think it's a bit goofy, but I think it's true. This could be... This could really be any of these 4. I'm really tempted towards this one because of the direct. It would also be his first son. I don't want to guess. I've got 4 here, and it could be any of them. The reason I'm not is Elias Jr. is going to be a direct descendant of an Elias. There are these, which I don't think you would use the name without the Jr. unless you're doing it as an homage later on, down like the family tree somewhere down here. Edward is always possible, but then what that's requiring is that you have like an Elias here, and then they have a son that's also Elias Jr. And then you have an Elias somewhere else, which I think that's just less common, so or less likely. So this is just more of a statistical run than anything else. But I think we're making some progress here. I think that's what we're looking at. This one I'm 100% confident in. This one I'm 100% confident in. This one I'm pretty darn confident in. This one I'm pretty darn confident in. This is the one that's a little sus. Alright, let's look more at it. Alright, I don't think there's really anything else to pull from this. Hold on, was this called 4-piece? Because this is... Hold on, let me show you what I'm thinking here. This makes a little bit of no sense. This is part of it. Okay, what I was thinking about was this. So this is called Roottrees 5 pieces. Contains 5 different maple-infused flavors. This is 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. But it's just now introducing M for Miracle Berry. So before that, you had 4 flavors. Was it still called 5 pieces? In 1923? 1922? And is this too much of a leap to just assume I can do this? Yeah! Alright, what do we got here? Egg cream? What? Okay. You found this advertisement in the Sweet History of Candy Volume 1. It's from 1924, 2 years after the debut, 5 pieces. The author included it because of the spelling error on the word available near the bottom. Valuable. It states that the flavors are inspired by the children, and the order is grape elderberry. Egg cream? What? I mean, that definitely leads me towards Elias C, but where does that get inserted now? Because this hasn't taken away the E. There's just now an E and an EC. This is moving CE to 4th. Were they always 4th? No, see, yeah, there's 2 M's now. Okay, what is... See, now we have G, like, I say now, 1928, we have... This is that inconsistency that this is talking about. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Something's happening here. Was there a secret kid? Oh, what is happening there? That's wild. From fine stockists throughout Pennsylvania. So, egg cream. And the thing that gets me is that I still don't even know that... Because this is grape, that one's fine. It's like we need 2 right here. I'm almost tempted to go with Elias C here as the real kid. And then maybe he had a kid, a secret junior here? Oh man. G-E-C-E. And then here we've got G-E-E-C. C-E. $19.20. Alright, well, we've got our first real, like, conundrum. I mean, I don't think they're going to do this trick again, but is there a volume 3? No. Alright, this is a book about all things candy throughout history. It starts with historical accounts dating back to ancient Egypt and chronicles candy through the year 1924. It's a weird time to start, considering this was published 60 years later. It includes some print advertisements from companies you've heard of, including an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces Charles Lee included due to a major misprint. And then this is 1925 onwards. Alright, one second, I have to step away for just a quick moment. Alright, still good old 8:20 p.m. Haven't lost a minute. The other thing is, I'm really confident in this part because it lines up so well, and in fact perfectly, with the names and the notables. So let me stop over. I've been kind of doing some deep dives and following paths, hopefully to the end as far as I could take them each time. But right now, sorry, I'm trying to think if I want to try to chase Gwen down any further. What does this red string mean? Because here, this is someone else who split up, and I get, but they don't get like red string boxed around them. Alright. I'm imagining that the way we solve, like, what her current position is we find something about, like, her son who's become a director. It's like, oh yeah, my mom, his mom, former actress, blah blah, now does blah blah blah. And this thing about Wolf is still driving me nuts, because I should be able to get something here to confirm something more about Wolf, but I don't know. Diamond. Why can I not spell diamond? Alright, it's time to do Miracle. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, and then we've got... Why did I do this way instead of just... Witness the power of the Lord in the summer of '96. I guess I'll just fill out his... Preacher. Oh, okay. So that's gonna be Clark, and him, and... Oh, Gwen. Okay, did lock in on Gwen. Alright, so that tells me that both of I think both of them have unknown occupations. I think both of them have moved on. I think they're current, because it's like I get... Oh. That's Eli. So the reason I put this in this order, oldest to youngest, he just looks older to me than this one. There's no other logic except to start putting things places. And then Gwen, I can also put that photo of her. Does that take it away? No. But it does mark it that it's been put somewhere. Okay, cool. I like that. Alright, so are you also a preacher? Let's go look at the evidence. Yeah. Pastor Miracle III, his wife Nicole. Okay, well... Oh, you're right. Okay, so there's Nicole Smith. Is there any other Nicoles? It's very likely. They don't want to make it, they don't want to make it too easy. And I'm not gonna guess. It's... I'm not gonna get into this stuff too much, but I can't imagine a preacher getting away with this tie in 2025. All right. 3 generations of miracles. Anything else here? Children, now welcome. Alright, names listed are Miracle Jr., who said to be world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Roottrees, who the flyer says will make a special appearance in Miracle III with his wife Nicole, who are said to be the youth pastors. Yep. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life, the doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but still with the power of God inside, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. So he was blind at one point. 23 years later, his son arrived. And became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he burned himself from the Roottrees name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. That's why he's just Miracle Jr. now. Via the power of television, he spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He's since left a life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places that need it most. The power of the Lord. I need to look up Miracle Network. Clergy Watch. He was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. A news expose revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in a disguise. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself, but doesn't clarify. Alright. Well, let's go find Miss Edith. Why do I do this to myself? Edith Jacobson. Okay. Alright, I'm guessing that's Eloise is the one. It's this one. Jacobson. Okay, there we go. So Miracle also had a brother or sister that Alright, let's Edith. Found a link that seems to be a partial and corrupted list of archived articles from the Butler County Times. The article is cut off and it mentions Edith Jacobson and an arrest. Alright, nice. Climb blotter article about Edith Jacobson that mentions Helen Roottrees and Lucinda Jacobson. In 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County, pretending to be employees in an attempt to get into the room where the church houses their weekly tithings. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time, while her husband Miracle that's kind of a, yep. Was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives instead of we, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm confident He has brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." And it's because she got married. Alright, now... Oh, what was the name? Lennon. Really? Alright, so there was something a minute ago I needed to look up, which was Miracle Network. You find a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottrees. This is pretty much the same thing, yep. He was younger than his brother and sister by over 14 years. I'm going back to this missing child. I guess they're separated by over 14 years. This is 6 years after it debuts. So that means at this point, she's at least 8. She's at least 8 years old. Right, so I'm getting 8 from 14, which is 8 plus 6. So she was at least 8 years old when this was released. Now 6 years later, and we're getting Miracleberry. So that's assuming this is coming out the day that this guy's born. He's younger by over 14 years. What is this? Does this have anything? That's not inaccurate, just funny. Alright, so do I have anything else to go off of right now? Clergy Watch, that's what it was. Okay. Nothing else? You know what? Let me just go search. Okay, here we go. Miracle Roottrees and his son. Legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take in the southeast. In the southern. Alright, I think I'm at the point where I think my brain's starting to kind of stop braining. And so I think my last step is to look into these two last notables. I've got a lot of information around how was I confident that this had to be a male? Oh, I think I read somewhere they hit a son. And clearly these are daughters, so. Alright, let me look into Lauren Roottrees for a second. That was a lot. Okay, I got a lot. Okay, I think it's that there's, yeah, all these are couched there, okay. A Life Between Wars, excerpts from the Diaries of a Roottrees. Lauren Roottrees captures the evolution. Okay, so I'm going, well, actually I don't know where she goes. Although I think she has to be right here, right? Yeah. I think she's an author. And I'm assuming that this is her photo. And this is going to be this handsome fellow right there. Alright, so should this have verified? Do I have 3 guesses I'm confident in? So they have to have the picture, so nothing over here would count. So I feel confident in this. That's 1. And 2. So no, it should not have validated. Because I don't know what they do. Don't know what they do. I mean, again, I guess I could pop in musician. This is not going to validate. Yeah, okay. I think they're both doing something different than their photos indicate. Alright, so I'm fairly confident about that one. But alright, let's get to reading. The below are notes and observations you made while skimming through her diary pages in A Life Between Wars. She's on the notable list. The book was published in '65 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 40 to 65. The most important event that much of the diary and thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband Jacob, which I think I already put in. Nope. So that confirms that this is Jacob Rafferty, and then this is going to be Chris Rafferty. Okay. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while she was pregnant. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. Lauren never remarried and only had one child. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth. That makes sense. On her father's side, I don't really know what that part of it means. Her mother's family was called the Cossels, but she hardly ever mentions them. Hold on. Her mother's family was called the Cossels. Okay. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clanced Trust, which Clancy Edward Clanced Trust. Okay, so this is going to blow this open. It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 pieces is the first generation. Lauren's father was in this generation. So these are your 5 pieces. The next generation is Lauren's generation, and then the free spirits are the generation after Lauren's. So this is the next, and these are the free. And so this photo that we've got is the free spirits, which will only be people, presumably. Let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, and then we also know that Gwen wasn't able to make it. We got that from... Where are we at? Here. Sorry we couldn't make the reunion. So Gwen is not there. But we're still missing somebody. Somebody else didn't make the reunion. Who we got here? We have Miracle Jr. Okay, so you're gonna go right here. This is why I didn't click all these ahead of time. I didn't want all the extra data sitting around. So you are Carl Boy. There you go. I think I know who several of these folks are, but I'm not confident enough. I don't really want to flood. I think this is Jim. I think that... Yeah. So we know they're all at this level, though. Okay. Wait, what? No, Miracle Jr. is in the wrong generation, right? This is the Free Spirits. Carl and Miracle Jr. are on different lines. He's on... Oh, but yeah, that's the problem is this is a full generation younger. Because this guy's 14 years younger. So it goes like blub up. Alright. So we've got Gwyneth M, Gwendolyn, Jim, Clark, Carl. I don't think I'm going to mess with those anymore for a moment. I'm just going to go back to this. This is going to be the center point for a while, it feels like. Oh, man. Yeah, this might actually be even a good time to walk away. I feel like my brain's kind of at the, not the end, but I can tell that my brain's getting tired. Yeah, maybe I walk away from this for just a few minutes at least. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take a quick break, or at least some break. Quick doesn't really matter. Taking a break. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. So I'm really glad I've turned this off. I'm really happy about this. That was a very good choice. So, but for now, I'm going to walk away and let the brain rest a little bit. So, adios.